Hello, YouTube. It's me, Pete. I'm Crossdeck Arcade, and I'm coming to you live from the Crossdeck Arcade, my basement in beautiful, small Hartford, Wisconsin. Snowy day today. Kind of weird. We're in that pattern this time of year where we can have a 70-degree day, which we had on Friday, and then 2 days later, it's snowing and like 30. So, I don't expect the snow that we're getting right now to hang on very much longer, but I hope you guys are having a great weekend. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend, tomorrow being St. Patrick's Day. And if you're imbibing, I hope that you're doing so safely and relying on others who are not imbibing to drive you around if need be. I never was much of a drinker, so I don't really take part. I take part in the St. Patrick's Day festivities to a point, but I don't drink. So while everybody else is getting schnockered, I'm pretty much just same old Pete. So I'm not wearing green today. I thought about doing that. I do have some green, but I thought I'd represent Arcades Anonymous here, even though I'm not officially a member of Arcades Anonymous. I thought, well, I'll just wear that today. And so I don't have much to go over. I don't have any mods. I do have mods that I'm thinking about doing. But I haven't really pulled the trigger on any purchases yet. So that might come this week, and specifically centered around the Centipede cabinet I recently acquired. And I'm also thinking about an Arcade1Up cabinet purchase. So recent events have kind of changed my line of thinking about cabinet purchases from Arcade1Up, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's look at the chat. Say hello to everybody. Stock Jock is here. By the way, thanks everybody for coming over from PD7's live stream of Battletoads. Appreciate it. I was in there for a little bit. I didn't get to. I don't get to be in a lot of live streams because I go to bed so darn early, as you all know. So I didn't have a very good workout this morning. So I've been up since 1 a.m. I'm a little bit cranky, so bear with me. There's a gentleman in the gym that decided to carry on a loud phone conversation. This is at 2 a.m. in the morning. This gentleman is having a regular conversation. It wasn't an emergency conversation. Those I understand. This gentleman was having just a regular chit-chat conversation on the phone for an hour, as loud as can be, and it was penetrating my earbuds. I had my earbuds in listening to YouTube content as I was working out. I even changed my workout. I usually start by running. Today I went to the other side of the gym over by the weights because this guy was just on my last nerve. So a tip to you folks that hit the gym or want to hit the gym. One of the big pet peeves I have is people that don't have consideration of others around them. This gentleman should have taken that phone conversation into the lobby or outside to his car, whatever. But I should not have to listen to your phone conversation while I'm working out. And conversely, nobody needs to hear my music. So I know some people, there's one particular other gentleman I know that likes to play music through his phone. no earbuds or nothing. Just likes to play his music through the phone. So I do have some pet peeves at the gym. I'm sure everybody else does. But yeah, that kind of, working out, someone who mentioned just already this morning, working out is such a mental game. You have to get your head in the right space to get a good, thorough workout done. And I thought I was in a good headspace today. I was all pumped and ready to go for a longer run to kick things off today. Didn't work that way because I immediately had to change up and because of this gentleman. And so I'm done ranting about that. So let's say hi to people in the chat. Stockjock's here. Thanks for coming on over from PD7. Oh, you're making a Gorf. That's cool. Awesome. I love my Gorf. My Build-A-Cade collection is kind of in stasis. You can see them behind my shoulder here, right behind me. They're all off because I lifted them off my center table and moved them off so I could work with that table. And I bought a different table, which I don't know right now if I'm a fan of. But I'm also waiting for some carpet from New Wave Toys, but to finish that display out. And then once I get that in, I'll move them back. I am kind of missing a lot of those have attract modes on them, attract mode audio. So I'm missing that additional attract mode audio that you get with the Build-A-Cades. And again, it also depends on what you put on them. But let's see, Time Pilot, Karate Champ, Gorf, all of the New Wave Toy stuff, the Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, they all generate some cool background noise for your arcade. And but I'm kind of missing it because for about a week now, my Build-A-Cade's been shut off, waiting for me to get that display ready to go. So, excuse me. Anywho, continuing on with the chat, Hockey Town's here. Welcome. Always good to see you. Yes, I have next. Ted Adam Green is here. Welcome, Ted. Good to see you. The Gorf, my Gorf anyway, is just using the single, the control panel that comes with the Build-A-Cade, which is the single joystick and a couple of buttons. So, or one action button, actually. You got one player, two player start, and one action button. So that's the default panel that comes with the Build-A-Cade. Glenn does not make a flight stick that small yet, anyway. So the joystick will have to do. It plays okay, though. Let's see. Scrolling through the chat. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm looking forward to moving down to Florida, although that's still a couple of years off. And then having a more consistent weather season. Oh. Nerd Lounge Master is here. Hey. Welcome, Nerd Lounge Master. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, that guy got under my last nerve today. There's been some things in the gym lately that have really ticked me off, and I don't know if that's get off my lawn syndrome or what. I am almost 6D. So I do find as I get older, my tolerance for things diminishes. It just is what it is. And as long as I'm conscious of that, I think I'll do better, at dealing with people. But I almost said something to this guy, and I'm not one to approach people when things bother me. I'll just let it simmer and do something else. Let it brush it off as much as this I could not brush off. It bothered me through my entire workout. I just like to support those guys because I love what they do. I love their show. So that's one of the reasons I bought this. I didn't buy it to narcissistically claim that I am a member of Arcades Anonymous. I just, first of all, I love the shirt and I love the jacket that I got with it. I just thought it was cool, and I thought I would represent a little. I do not have VR. I have not made that jump. But welcome, Corner Kate. Welcome to the stream. PD7, hey man, nice stream that you had going on there last hour. Thanks for all the shout outs and call outs and referrals to my stream today. I appreciate it. Yeah. One of my favorite movies. And you see this meme, you see memes from this movie all over a lot of the time, but is Gran Torino with Clint Eastwood. I just, for some reason, I just resonate with that character, and he's a hoot. And but it's a good movie. Kind of depressing ending, but you kind of knew that was coming. My pleasure, Nerds Lounge Master. Like I said, I love your show. All right. Not much going on in the arcade this week. It was actually pretty dark. I had a lot of work going on, so unfortunately, I didn't even fire up the arcade. I have 2 work from home days during the week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And usually, one of the first things I do is come down here, fire up the arcade, and when I take breaks, I come down here, play a game or two, go back to work. Thursday, I was so busy, even at home with work, that I didn't even get down here to turn on the arcade. So I'm waiting on a couple of things from New Wave Toys. I ordered 4 more UV pads from them to finish out the table behind me, and I'll pull up the view here so you can kind of see that this table. This is a new table that I bought that's sitting lower than I'd like it to be. I didn't really look at the legs when I bought it, and I should have. But there you can see the UV pads that I do have, and I want to add some more on the right side there on the end to finish off the table, and then I'll put my Build-A-Cades back on there. But I'm still not 100% happy with that table, and I am going back out after the stream. Number one, the gal and I are having Papa Murphy's Pizza tonight, so I got to go pick that up. And one of the things I'm going to do is look for a better table. So I do have my black light on right now, so you can kind of see. I mean, you're not going to get a very real sense of how reflective that UV carpet is, but it does pop a little bit, even on video, so you can kind of get a sense. So, but that's where I'm going with that. And then you can also see on the table there, I have some things that I'm going to talk about today. I've talked about my power usage before, and one of the things I was going to do, but I didn't have time to set it up, was get out my meter, my power meter, and plug in one of my strips to that meter and give you guys a good sense of how many Arcade1Ups is and LED lights, artwork, or a power draw, or how much of a power draw that is. But maybe we'll do that on a later another stream. First of all, I got to find that thing. It's floating around here. I used to have it for Christmas display. I used to do some pretty elaborate Christmas displays, and I used that power meter to give me an idea of how much I was throwing on an individual circuit, and whether or not I needed to look at balancing the power distribution out a little more. But so yeah, that table in the middle there, I'm not happy with. So I'm going to look for another one that can be adjusted higher. My white one I do like, but it's white. I would rather have a black table in there. Oh, Gamer Fridge is here. Welcome, Guy. Well, I appreciate it. I hope you're feeling better. I saw you were a bit under the weather for a couple of days, so hope that's passed and you're doing great. Obviously, if you're at work, you're probably doing better. Okay. The other thing I got from coming from New Wave Toys is I bought Zoltar, so that should be here soon. Um, so I might do an unboxing live with that just for fun, and I'm still thinking about that. I don't know. I may just unbox it and make it a part of my display. It depends on when I'm able to do my display. I anticipate the pads being here too, around the same time that Zoltar is going to be here. So, but yeah, I did add Zoltar to my 1/6 scale collection, and I'm pretty happy about that. I've been wanting it, and they were offering that. Was it Love? No, they had a 20. I think it was 25% off coupon for the Zoltar. I don't know if it's still going on or not, but excuse me, I just had to take a drink there, and I like to mute myself when I do that, so you guys don't have to hear the ice moving around in there. So let's talk about Arcade1Up for a second. And I know this has probably been hashed and rehashed for the last week, but I want to give my thoughts on it. I don't know about you folks. That there are probably some folks that are on either side of the fence. I loved what Arcade1Up did, okay, and I still do, assuming their heart is still beating. But you all saw James Hates Everything's stream about the lawsuit from Apple, and I got to believe that this is probably, if not the final nail in the coffin, it's one of the nails in the coffin, and the dominoes are starting to fall for that company. And I hate to say it, and this is all speculation and opinion on my part. I don't know. Next week, Arcade1Up could announce a Robotron. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know. We know about what are lawsuits. I mean, we know about that because that's publicly available. You can go grab the actual lawsuit itself. We don't know how that lawsuit's going to be resolved. Arcade1Up may settle out of court with them, and it may be a done issue. So, I just believe that Arcade1Up is the past, and until proven otherwise, I just gotta save my. I gotta say my goodbyes. I mean, I'm not saying goodbye to what I have. I'm just saying goodbye to what could have been. What was and what could have been, and it's sad because I liked that company. I liked what they did. They made some mistakes, but all companies do. All companies hopefully sort it out and get better. Did I say Apple? Atari. I'm sorry. Again, my mind is all over the place this morning. Well, last week I used the wrong trackball in Centipede, or tried to anyway. And this week I'm apparently confusing Apple and Atari. So thank you for correcting me, chat. I appreciate that. So not Apple, Atari. So but going back to when I bought my first cabinet, okay, let's go back even further than that. I was one of those folks that walked past a pallet full of Galagas in Walmart one year. This is probably the first or second year that Arcade1Up actually came out with stuff, 2018, 2019, that time frame. I remember walking past the display and I'm like, oh, those things look like trash. You know, as much as I loved Galaga, I'm like, I just don't see myself getting one of those things. I don't remember how much they were being sold for at the time, but I was one of those people early on that basically said, no, not for me. And so fast forward to 2 years after that, or 2 or 3 years after that, it was 2021, I believe, is when I saw the Pac-Man Legacy. And I'm like, that looks better. It had a riser. It had a lit marquee. I got excited about that, the Pac-Man Legacy. Now, I laugh about it now because I have a much better Pac-Man in the Pac-Man Deluxe. And that's light years ahead of what the Pac-Man Legacy was. But I just remember thinking, well, okay, they've made some changes. And so this looks better. And this is something I actually would like to have. So I bought it. And that was my first Arcade1Up. Second one was the Miss Pac-Man, and then the third one was the Atari Legacy, the Tempest. And I was hooked. I was hooked at that point. I'm like, okay, I can set up my own home arcade now. And that's how it went. So I was a big fan of what Arcade1Up was doing. And when the Deluxes came out, I said, okay, now they're hitting a stride. These look great. If they keep doing this, they're going to be okay. Well, as we all know, they didn't keep doing that. They did other things, and they did things that shot themselves in the foot, like NFL Blitz. And I'm sad. I'm sad to see this company go through what it's been going through. And my hope is that they course correct and are able to stay afloat. But right now, it just doesn't look like that. It doesn't. Okay, well, am I still going to buy Arcade? Okay, having given you my opinion about Arcade1Up, you guys can let me know in the chat what you think. Do you think they're done or not? I did not put up a poll, but just tell me what you think. I am not done with Arcade1Up. I have some purchases I still want to make. And the timing of those purchases depend totally on availability. So I may be forced to make a purchase just to make sure I get the cabinet that I want. Right now, I'm leaning towards buying an NBA Jam Tournament Edition, the 4-player. And whether or not I turn that down into a 2-player depends on how I'm feeling. I might do it. I have thought about it, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do a 2-player conversion on that, I'll probably get a whole new set of joysticks and buttons and populate the new board, 2-player board with those, and then leave the 4-player control panel in stock condition. So if I ever sold it, wanted to put the 4-player back in, I could. So we'll see. Nerd Lounge Master is making some good points here. There are a few haters, and I think we all know who some of them are. I think most people have a generally favorable opinion of them. I do think they've made some questionable business decisions. I'm not an expert by any means, but I have my opinions, and so does everybody else. Ted's point here, Ted's making a good point here. NFL Blitz probably really tanked them. Well, two things really: NFL Blitz, and then the fact that they, and I don't know this for certain. I only know what I hear from other content creators. But when retailers wound up discounting these things severely, and supposedly Arcade1Up had a deal with them to pay them back for the discounts that they had to apply. If that's the case, who the hell negotiated that deal? I mean, to me, that's ridiculous. Why would you make that guarantee unless you're really set on getting into that retailer that you want to add a concession that large? It just makes no sense to me. And I'm not even a businessman. So that just, as a regular consumer, I'm like, why would you pay back a retailer when they're the ones that discounted the item heavily? I don't know. So I think that really shot them in the foot. But just my opinion as a consumer. Again, I like Arcade1Up. I don't like some of the products they've come out. I don't like the Slim Cadies. I don't like the Casino Cade. I don't like the two-player NBA Jam Slim Cadie. I don't like the. I know a lot of people like it, but the photo booth thing and the help me out here. The prize picker or whatever they call that thing. I so much don't care about it that I don't even remember what it's called. Again, age and probably lack of sleep are affecting my memory recall right now. So, yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not much of a pinball guy, so I like the virtual pinballs that I have, but I never was much of a pinball player in the day, and even today. You know, I'll play it now. I play it now more than Claw Machine. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. More power to Wonderland. I heard they had a really good Kickstarter. One of the things I'm really waiting for is the FU edition Kickstarter from Glenn. I'm ready. I'll jump on that right away. So I watched his show from Friday night and really, really looking forward to that Kickstarter being announced. Thumper Squid's here. Welcome, Thumper Squid. Thanks for letting me know. Again, lack of sleep, age, and exhaustion all add up to my memory recall loss. Prize picker. That'll get clipped and probably replayed over and over somewhere. I've never been clipped, so I told somebody at work. I've been at my job now for 33 years, and one of the individuals in my own division, who's fairly new, and she's been there a while, she approached me at a gathering once, and she said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, my name's Pete. Pete." I told her my last name too, and she said, I never even knew what you looked like. I've never seen you. And I told her, my reply to her was, look, my goal in life is to retire from this place without anybody ever knowing who the heck that guy is, because they announce retirements to the college community. And when my name gets put on a list, I want people reading that email on the other end going, who the hell is that guy? I'm trying to get through life unnoticed. And so you're all out there staring at me right now, looking at you through this camera saying, well, why the hell are you on YouTube then? Well, I'm a big old introvert. So being on YouTube kind of helps me open up a little bit. And so this is one of the tools I use. Being a techie and a techie nerd, liking to make things work, being able to talk to you guys through a live stream actually helps me, I think. And so that's just the way I'm built. Yeah, y'all caught that, huh? Um, I'm intrigued by Basic Fun's news. I did listen to that podcast that gentleman had created, and that's a wait and see approach. It sounds like they're all going to be just like Arcade1Ups. So we'll see. We'll wait to see more from that company. The latter half of this year might be a really exciting time for all of us. Let's hope that's the case. I hope it's the case. I love this hobby. I'm a big fan of being able to create a space that I can walk into and just that takes me back. I'm in the process, guys, right now, and maybe I should have done this as part of my stream today. I'm in the process now of trying to create an 80s playlist with songs that evoke arcade atmosphere for me. That songs that I heard in the arcade back in the day. You know, I'm a big Journey fan. Obviously, I'm going to have Separate Ways in there. I'm going to have their song from Tron, Only Solutions. So I'm in the process of building that playlist. But the point I'm trying to make is, regardless of how you feel of how these things are made, okay? If you think Arcade1Up sucks, if you think their button quality sucks, if you think their joystick quality sucks, for me, they're fine, okay? There's a couple of cases where I've upgraded buttons or joysticks, but for the most part, I enjoy what they produce. And if a new company like Basic Fun can come along and give me something that I can enjoy, great. If it adds to my arcade atmosphere that you see behind me, awesome. This is my space where I can come, and it takes me back to a time which was just awesome, the early 80s. I think Stock Jock will agree with me. The early 80s in the arcades were awesome. And I miss those times. I do, a lot. And I wish I could go back to them sometimes. If I had a time machine, I'd probably go back to the Quarterdeck arcade. Remember, folks, this channel is named after a place that I hung out in. It was called the Quarterdeck Arcade. Long gone. I mean, I even drove past that building last time I was back home. It's now a dry cleaning or laundry service, something like that. But so I have a lot of affinity for that time and for how it made me feel. So, you know, a lot of times, I come down here and I reminisce about the good times that I had, the friends that I hung out with, and so again, regardless of how you feel about these machines, these toys, you know, it doesn't matter how you feel. I mean, it matters to you. That's what I'm trying to make. How you feel about these companies and these cabinets and pinball machines, and it's all about you. What makes you happy? This makes me happy. Why did I build 10 Build-A-Cades? It made me happy. Just saying. I mean, applying the artwork, building the Build-A-Cades, doing it on live stream, all of that made me happy. And that's me. I like doing what makes me happy. And that's the way it should be for any of us. Y'all want to have a 55-piece Arcade1Up arcade in your house? More power to you. If you only want to have just one multicade, more power to you. Multicades are great. I'm a big fan of multicades. I'll be a backer of Glenn's FU edition when it hits the street. But there's no right or wrong in this space. Not in my opinion. There's not. You know, however you want to make it look. Am I satisfied? I actually thought about doing a little bit of the arcade shuffle here. That table right there, I'm getting sick of looking. That TV monitor back there I'm getting sick of looking at it. I want to fill out that space with more Arcade1Ups or pinballs. So, yeah, everybody knows the arcade shuffle, just to refresh things. Yeah, Stock Chalk. The more I hear you talk on Arcades Anonymous, I know that we probably have a lot in common. So we grew up in similar times. I All right, let's talk power. This is not going to be a long stream, maybe just under an hour, maybe even shorter than that. I do want to talk about power. So I don't have as many Arcade1Ups as I used to, but in general, and I'll pull up the wide view of the arcade. Maybe not that one. Let's go with this one. Okay. All right. So wholeheartedly agree, Hockey Town. If it ain't hurting anybody else, do what makes you happy. Yeah, I agree, Nerd Lounge Master. The only thing that won't change in my arcade, I think, is that Atari corner, Star Wars corner in the back right behind me. That's going to be static. So anything that moves is going to be around that corner. All right, so let's talk power. So one of the things I did when I was setting up my arcade, my space, this used to be a workout room, and I've shown the pictures before. This used to be my weight room, and my treadmill was right behind me, and I had a whole streaming setup. I streamed my workouts to Twitch. I signed up for a gym, and I moved my workouts into the gym. I stopped streaming my workouts and just focused on me. So I didn't need this space to be a workout space anymore. By the way, I still have a treadmill if anybody wants it. Anybody local to Wisconsin. It still works. It's just 7 years old. I'll give it to you for free if you come pick it up today. So when I started sketching out this space and how I would do it, I told myself about flooring, taught myself about flooring. I was going to keep my original gym flooring, which you can kind of make out the gym flooring is still there. I looked at getting the carpet, but then I moved on to power, and I'm like, what am I going to do for power? I don't know how much of a power draw these things are. Well, as I read and learned, they don't draw very much power at all. But I still thought, well, I'm going to balance things out as much as I can. So I started my space, and I started moving things down, and I started testing out my circuits just to see which outlet down here was on what circuit. They're not labeled, so you kind of have to fudge your way around, and that's how I destroyed my. That's how I thoroughly believed I destroyed my Atari Legacy encoder board. Those things are weak. They don't handle power spikes very well. And I left that cabinet on when I tripped the breaker. Boom, encoder board gone. So I did that to myself. I shot myself in the foot testing circuits. So what I've basically done in my arcade is I basically have each wall on a separate circuit. So I have a circuit on the back wall. I have a circuit on the side wall, or the side wall here, where the window is. And then I have another circuit that runs along the false wall here, the partitions. So 3 separate circuits, way overkill in my opinion, I think. I'm going to confirm that with that little power meter at some point someday. Just for fun. And I might do a community post about my results. I'll take a picture of the meter, what it says, how many amps I'm drawing, all that good stuff. And you guys can judge for yourself whether I really went overkill or not. But I like to play it safe. So that's how I did it. So on each wall, I have a 16 port power strip, and it's pretty large. And I'll bring it up. Let me go back. And then we'll go down. Okay. So first item up for discussion. This is the power strips that I have along each wall. And I actually have a fourth one that goes into the middle of the arcade, which I brought. It was in storage for a while because I didn't have any middle of the arcade. Now I'm starting to get that middle back. So I brought it back out and I'm using it for my Build-A-Cades. It's overkill. So I think I'm going to step down to a regular Walmart power strip. This is not a surge protector. Well, it has a circuit breaker, but I don't believe these are true surge protectors. So don't consider them that. But this is what I use. This is a heavy duty, but it does say it's a surge protector. So take that for what it's worth. Whether I believe it's a surge protector or not, for me is immaterial because I shut the arcade off anyway when I'm not using it. There's again 16 outlets, and I got the one. You have two choices. You can get a 6-foot extension cord, or you can get a 15-foot. I splurged and went for the 15-foot. Now, there are especially on the middle section, I probably should have went for the 6-foot version. But this is nice because you run this along your wall, and then you've got 16 ports for Arcade1Ups, LED artwork, whatever. So I have one of these, and they're kind of pricey. You can see the price here. But I believe I got mine on sale. They were like $39 at the time or something. There was a deal on these. So look out for a deal. But I love these. They work great in my arcade. But I have one again along each wall. So I have plenty of power for my Arcade1Ups, and the power is distributed equally among 3 circuits. So now, what about everything that's USB powered? Well, let's say you've got several pieces of LED artwork hanging on your wall, or if you're like me, you like to put LED strips, light strips on the back of each one of your Arcade1Ups. Well, you got to plug those USB ports plugs in somewhere, right? So the solution I came to for that is to buy some USB hubs. And this is the one that I'm currently using. I have on each wall, I have a 16-port power strip, which you just saw. And then I have this USB hub. By the way, links to all this stuff are in the description of this stream, so feel free to look them up yourselves. This is a powered USB hub, so you can see the power plug here. It's color coded, so you've got 7 USB 3.0 ports for your devices and your LED strips and your LED artwork. These red ports here don't get used. These are fast charging ports. If you look down here in the description, there are 4 smart charging ports. It offers 4 charging dedicated ports. You can charge your tablets, cameras, phones without having to find extra wall outlet space. And they're fast charging ports of up to 2.4 amps per port. Never plug in an LED light strip to these ports. So basically, if you're buying this, you're basically getting 7 ports that you can use for your LED strips and your LED artwork. Reason I say that is I burned out several strips trying to plug it in. I ran out of space here, so I thought, well, I'll try one of the red plugs. No, bad idea. You'll burn that strip up, and then you'll wind up having to replace it. Nerd Lounge Master mentions he mentions the one from Harbor Freight. I'm sure that's just as good. These are the ones that actually I got the 16-port power strip idea I got from somebody else in the community, and I don't remember who that individual is, but so these are the USB power strips I use. I'm a fan of them, even though I only get 7 usable ports to power my LED stuff. But again, and the nice thing about these is these are individual on-off buttons for each individual port. So let's say you're not using a port or you just want to power it off. You can do that by pressing the individual ports. So I keep these red ones off, and I just don't use them. I should put like a piece of tape over them so I don't, for whatever reason, if I'm reaching behind a cabinet looking for an open port and not paying attention, I don't plug anything into there. But I have 4 of these as well in each spot that I run power to. So very handy. The last thing I want to show you is just something that I use for the 16-port strip. These are basically baby safety outlet covers that it gets dusty down here in my basement. So I like to cover any power port that I'm not using at the time. So I bought a bunch of these and keep them in the arcade. So that's all I wanted to show you, basically. So let's, again, you can kind of get a sense for how big this strip is just by looking at it on camera. It's pretty huge. You got your power. You got a power switch here, and you can reset the breaker. It has its own internal circuit breaker as well. But again, 3-pronged ports, and I've got my Dreambaby plugs. Got a bunch of spares, and then this is the USB jack. Now I've unplugged. There's a USB port here that goes to a PC if you want to plug this actually into your PC, but I don't use it. I just use it for USB power. But that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about for power. I just wanted to throw some ideas out there, get you thinking. I don't know how some of you run power to your cabinets. I imagine it's pretty similar to what I do. I'm a little disappointed in my cable management. If I showed you what it looked like behind my cabinets right now, it's a nightmare. So one of my missions is probably this summer is probably going to spend some time doing proper cable management. As a network administrator, one of the things that we're trained on is cable management. And so I'm supposed to be proficient in that. Well, not in my home environment. Cables are just lying everywhere. Because what do? We buy a new Arcade1Up. We're just excited about getting it in there and working. And we throw the cables back there. And you keep telling yourself, I'll deal with it later. And what happens? You never deal with it. And so a bunch of cables pile up behind these cabinets. And if you walk behind your cabinets, like I do on this side anyway, you kind of lose sight of proper cable management. And so I'll get better. All right. That's the big thing I wanted to talk about. I have no mods. Again, just letting you know I didn't buy anything. I'm hoping to jump on Tulsa Arcades a little later and get something for that centipede. And I'm hoping to go to buy stuff and get another thing for that centipede. Nerds Lounge Master has an idea. I mount the power brick to the back of the cab. And that's something I think I did with that Space Invaders behind me. I believe I did that. Because I had so many things that required power. And I needed something, so that worked out okay, I think. Stock Jock says he used Wi-Fi wall mount plugs that have USB outlets on them as well. Yeah, see, that's one thing I don't do, Stock Jock, is I don't remotely power on these things. I go, and this goes back to nostalgia. Granted, none of us back in the day walked around and turned on these things or turned them off. Although there were a couple of times I did help out the owner of the arcade in my neighborhood doing that. Because I usually showed up at his door when he opened and he hadn't even turned on the machines yet. And he would get me to do it. He said, "Hey, Pete, go over there and just turn them on for me, will you?" Okay. Made me happy. So I I like to walk around and power these things up. It's part of my process. And I think I actually documented that either on a video or on a stream about what I did. It's the same process. I still do the same thing. I walk around and turn each individual thing on. Well, first of all, the first thing I do is I walk around and turn on the power strips. If anything, if I was ever going to put a automation on, it would be the power strips, because at some point they're going to become inaccessible to me. So I would probably get an Alexa plug or something and just turn those on, the power strips on. And then I would still walk around manually and turn each individual thing on. Then the third part of my process is I walk around and set my LED lights. Most of them are memory capable, so some of them aren't though. So they have their desired color stored. So when I turn it on, it's there. I don't have to worry about it. But some of these older power LED light strips don't retain the color that I want. So I have to walk behind and I have to set the color scheme that I want. It's all a part of the process of just bringing this arcade to life each time I fire it up. So yeah. First of all, welcome, PB&J. Welcome. I agree. At work, I'm kind of a nitpick, when it comes to organization, documentation, and neatness. And if you looked at our closets at work, the racks are just pristine, beautiful. I do have an older pick when we first started out in networking there with patched networks and IDF closets and everything. Oh, it was a spaghetti mess. It was just a nightmare. I have to find that photo and share it with you guys sometime. We are getting some snow, but last time I looked, it was just like baby flakes. If it's enough that I have to shovel, I'm going to be pissed. Why would I love your electrical setup? Oh, because you probably all have it on the wall switch, right? So you just flip on the switch and everything comes on. See, yeah. Like I said, guys, it was like 70. It was when I was driving home from work Friday, it was 76 degrees. And today it's like 30. So we're just in that period now, transition period. I thought about running a Luck of the Irish race downtown Milwaukee today, and then I saw the forecast and I said, nope, gonna be cold again. I don't like running in the freezing cold, so I just stayed in the gym. Anything else you guys want to talk about before I sign off here? We're coming up on 55 minutes, so like I said, this week was probably going to be short anyway. Yeah, that's a business in retirement that'd probably be good. Is just running an arcade, because I don't know that. No, I don't know anything about fixing them. I still want to get my. There's a Gorf in the area that came down in price, and I'm sorely tempted about picking that real Gorf up. So, but maintaining those things would probably be a nightmare in my opinion. More power to you, Danny. I like turning mine on manually. Iconic. I'm intrigued by the concept of the iconic arcade cabinet, but the artwork that they've got so far, I'm not thrilled about. So I'm waiting to see what they come up with next. As for basic fun, again, it's a wait and see. They haven't shown me anything. They showed something at that show, but until I see something solid or concrete, I have no opinion one way or the other. I don't want to say I'm going to get one because how can I say that? I don't know what they look like or what they're going to be. Sorry, I slipped. That's one of my pet peeves of streaming. Keyboards and drinking. Again, get off my lawn, right? Yeah. Two old dudes or two old farts? Guys, I'm going to wrap it up. One of the things that's kind of on my mind right now is my dog's not doing too good, and she had a couple of bouts of vomiting yesterday, and we're concerned about that. We did change her food because her food was not available, so we had to put her on something else because we had none, and that could be the thing that's upsetting her stomach right now. Another thing is I thoroughly cleaned out her dishes just before the stream started today. I thoroughly cleaned out her dishes and her feeding station, and so it got kind of really disgusting in there. I got to get in the habit of weekly visiting, cleaning that stuff up. So she's a little under the weather, and I'm concerned about her. So I'm going to go see how she's doing, check in on her, and put her dishes back together. So because I didn't do that before the stream, and but y'all keep her in your thoughts. I'm sure she'll be fine. She's just got an upset stomach and something's rousing it. So, but anyway, this was a nice short stream. My streams, I'm famous for going 2 to 3 hours, building something or modding something. Today's not going to be that, but hopefully I'll have something for you guys next weekend. I don't think even if I were to order something today, I don't think it'd be here in time for next week's show. So we'll think of something to do next week. Thank you, Mike Hawkhurst. Appreciate it. Yeah, hit that like button and the subscribe button. I actually lost a subscriber, and part of me thinks I lost a subscriber because of last week's stream. Somebody probably started watching it and watched it all the way through, only to see me fail with that trackball mod. So I updated the description in that stream just to let everybody know up front that it, just give them a warning that things did not go as planned. But that's one of the things I like about live streaming, stuff instead of cutting together videos is you guys get to see the faults, you get to see the warts, you get to see all the crap that I go through to get something done, and you can avoid those pitfalls, when you do it. So I appreciate it, all you guys. I really do. I love hanging out with you guys. I would love to catch some more live streams myself, but I just can't stay up that late. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call it. So everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great day today, wherever you're at. Stock Jock, get out, enjoy that warm weather. I'll be joining you, brother, in a year or two, 2 years, 3 years, who knows. And just have a great week, a safe week. And always remember, I got next.